Our next guest is the all-time champion on the real estate debate and our community connection with Carmel Valley. Please welcome to the show real estate expert Elizabeth Story is here.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
What's up?
Oh, you know, just crushing it.
I noticed. So I have a question for you, Elizabeth.
Okay.
About Carmel Valley,
All right.
your area. Now, it seems to me, and I'm just a guy, so you're the expert, but it seems to me the Carmel Valley marketplace might be peaking right here, one of the hottest markets in San Diego for the past 2 to 3 years. Is it possible that we might be seeing a peak in prices in Carmel Valley right now?
I don't think we've seen the absolute peak, but we are definitely flattening out a little bit. Carmel Valley has only had about 1.8% appreciation in the last 12 months, whereas San Diego County's had 5% and California as a whole has had 6%. But I'm not really looking at this as necessarily a bad thing, but more of a market correction. So the population in Carmel Valley has grown since 2010, 66%. That's some pretty staggering growth. In fact, one of the highest in the county and in the state. Now, the good thing about that is there's been some new construction to keep up with the demand, but it did also increase the resale prices. We did see gains anywhere from 10 to 20% in the last 5 years, but the market has definitely stabilized in the last 12 months with a 1.8% gain. But again, I feel like that's more of a better thing. And for example, if you're looking to sell, then you don't have to be afraid of losing huge gains anymore. The market has flattened out. You don't need to hold on anymore because you're not going to be holding on for such, staggering numbers as 10%, 20% appreciation. You can go ahead and sell now and feel comfortable that you're not going to lose gains in the coming years.
We should also talk about the basis too, because we see percentage increases, and a lot of times people say, oh, well, this area of town was up 10% and this area of town was only up 4%. Yeah, well, the average price over here is $450,000. The average price here is $1 million.
Right.
So we should talk about the basis too, because 1.8% doesn't sound like a lot, but if it's $1 million house, you're still talking about some serious cash.
The average purchase price in Carmel Valley now is still under $1 million. It's in the 900 range. And in the last 5 years, at various times, it has been in the 900 range. So when you look at just the average purchase price, the numbers kind of go up and down, and I've hit the same number over and over again. If you were to look at everything that's on the market in Carmel Valley right now, there's 200 homes for sale on the MLS. They range anywhere from $350,000 up to $10 million. But the bulk are going to be right in that 1 million range, that 900,000 range. So it still has some affordability for who's living there.
Right.
And that's why I predict it to be a very stable market, because there's some really interesting statistics about Carmel Valley that a lot of people might not know. It is one of the most educated communities in San Diego County. It has over 80% of its residents there have at least a bachelor's degree or higher, and a very high percentage of graduate degrees. It's also a very well-employed community, almost non-existent unemployment rate, and very, very low amounts of distressed sales. So it also has wonderful schools. Business Week recognized Canyon Crest Academy as number 117 on their top 500 list of schools in the U.S. Their average SAT score was 1904, and their graduation rate that they reported was 100%. This is
1904 was the average?
Average.
Send your kids to that school. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
Send your children to that school.
Right.
Wow. Now, I should tell you, too, also just my personal experience, a lot of the people that I know in Carmel Valley, which is, let's call it a handful of people. I live in Del Mar, so not too far. A lot of my peeps are on the Del Mar side, but in Carmel Valley, I know a handful of people that are all very well off, brilliant people. So I think the culture there makes sense for what's going on.
Right.
I think people just they wanted something newer. That's why Carmel Valley's crushing Del Mar right now.
Carmel Valley also has a really high owner occupancy rate, which keeps the neighborhood stable. Carmel Valley is right around 70% owner occupancy, where the rest of the county is at 50 or less.
Right.
So it's a very owner-occupied community, a very educated community, an affluent community. And something very interesting, which a lot of people might not know, it's very low in vices. Now, vices in the real estate world are maybe a little bit different than what you and I might think of vices, or they might be the same thing. You're talking casinos, liquor stores, strip joints, if you will.
Strip joints.
Carmel Valley is very low.
Where's the strip joint in Carmel Valley? I don't have any strip joints in here.
You're not going to find a lot of drive-through liquor stores on the way to a strip joint in Carmel Valley. It's just not that kind of community. The stat is actually less than 1/3 compared with the state's average. So
somewhere right now there's a guy going, I need to open a strip joint in Carmel Valley. brilliant idea.
You know what?
It may not work though.
Let me tell you something, and we'll probably get to this a little bit later when we do the One Paseo update. But if there's one thing I know about Carmel Valley, it's a very active community.
True that.
People who bought in Carmel Valley, they want to be there, they plan to be there, they're going to stay, and they're going to let their voices be heard. So by God, you are not going to be changing that community in a way that they don't see fit. So good luck with that drive-through strip joint liquor store.
It's not going to work, buddy, just so you know.
Right.
It's a good idea, but it's not going to work. Let's talk about One Paseo.
Okay.
What's the update on this thing? I mean, it's got to be, I've been seeing things in the Del Mar Times and stuff like that, but to me it's all noise. No one knows the details like you do, so tell me what's up.
So let me give you the One Paseo update. So the last community meeting was on August 19th. That included a presentation on 3 different proposed and scaled down new plans. Now residents might say they were lower and they were scaled up, and now they're scaling back down, because that's really kind of the truth in the journey. They settled their lawsuit in May 2015. They're scheduled to go before the community again in October, November, and December through the Planning Commission, and December and January through the City Council. Now, if everything goes according to schedule, that means that they could be voting again as early as January. If it were passed, it would still be another 18 months out on construction. They're currently still in the design development phase, and one of the biggest concerns has been and continues to be traffic. So in the last proposal, they reduced the average trips down to 14,000, and the current majority of the trips are still on the retail side, with 6,650 per day, and office and residential both around 3,600. Now, what the proposal says is that the people who are coming to work are coming in at a different time. They're coming in at the time that the people who are living there are leaving, unless it's a live-work plan where you're walking. So they're saying the traffic's going the opposite directions. And then they're saying in the middle of the day, the retail is coming in and out. So the plan, or the proposal, if you will, is that the traffic is going to be stepping around each other.
Conveniently, we'll miss everyone on the way in and out. Perfectly.
Yes. No, whether that's true, I don't know. And again, the really hot button topic is that some of this is dependent on freeway connections, which would be 15 years after the project is done. That is a long time to figure out if the traffic is really going to work. But they are working on timing 8 different intersections so that hopefully it keeps a better traffic flow. But we'll just have to see how that turns out.
Yeah, I guess we will, because I mean, there's a lot of guessing going on, and everybody's guess seems to fit with their agenda so far. So I don't know what to expect, but the way I see it, progress is good. Overbuilding can be bad, but in an area like this, it's such an extremely desirable area. I think the inventory would be fantastic. I don't know how great it would be for homeowners, to see that inventory hit the marketplace, but only time will tell. They got to get it approved first, right?
Well, like I said before, if you have an extremely similar residence to one of the ones that's going to be going on the market, I would definitely say sell now, call me now, or you're going to have to wait till a couple of years after, because when it's in the brand new release phase and you've got a similar property and it's a resale that's identical to a new construction, it's going to be very hard to compete. So like I said before, sell before or a few years after.
Great stuff from Elizabeth's story. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. If you'd like to have your opinion heard regarding the One Paseo development, please contact me. All of your constructive feedback will be shared, and a few homeowners will actually be here in the studio talking on air about your thoughts. I'm also doing a strategic seller and buyer program for the rest of the year and throughout the holidays, where if you contact me to buy or sell, I will be making a donation to a local charity that supports veterans or foster youth. I look forward to speaking with you very soon.
Thanks for watching Smarter San Diego TV. You are now smarter than everyone else.